This episode is sponsored by FrontrunnerNewJersey.com, your digital publication that covers South Jersey, and Fruition Life Media, preserving family legacies through video tributes, and Creative Content on Demand, your multimedia marketing company for all businesses. Well, Christina, thank you for joining us on BizTalk Unlocked. We really appreciate you taking some time out. We know that you're a busy person, but it's going to be very beneficial for those who are listening today. So thank you for joining us today.
No, it's my pleasure, always. Anything you two need.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Well, I got to say before we jump into it, though, where I met you, it was during the time when I used to work in broadcast television. I was a news photographer, and it was during the time of COVID. And my wife and I had part-time business that we were doing and looking to go full-time. And I remember you speaking and giving out so much vital information for business to stay sustained during that horrible time that we were experiencing. I mean, so for that moment on, I was like, that's the person we need to connect with, right? Because of the care, because of the networking, the information you were giving business to be successful. And I just remember chasing you down after the live event was over with and getting your information. And the rest has been just a blessing, because since that connection, our business has flourished. We've done so well, even to this point of doing this. All comes from the inspiration and how, we've made connections through
the chamber.
Yeah.
And just, I remember when James was saying, we need to expand our business and growth. And when he was talking about the chamber, we're like, okay, your chamber covers all of South Jersey. And this was the best spot for us to do.
Yeah. So you offer something that's unique and definitely allow business owners, if they really just participate and take advantage of all the opportunities that are presented, I mean, they can really grow. But with that said, let me dive into the first question. I just wanted to put that out there.
You guys can keep talking. This sounds fantastic, everything you're saying. I appreciate it so much. I really do. And, James, going back to that first time we met, I'll never forget that either, because that was the first time I left my house during COVID. And maybe to run, to a food store, but that was my first public engagement for work. And that was April of 2020. And I remember driving there, the times are so different now, but thinking like, am I going to die because I'm going to this? It was, we were still very early in the pandemic. And so I remember that day like it was yesterday. And I do remember meeting you and you coming over and you saying, I have this business and your card, and I got your card, and whatever. And we made it happen. And what a blessing it's been to the chamber, because you can say all this great stuff about our chamber, which of course I appreciate so much. But what you have both done coming into the chamber is really the textbook model of what people need to do when they join a chamber of commerce, which we'll get to. I know we're going to talk a little bit about that, but your business growth, sure, the chamber is a piece of it, but it's also your hard work and work ethic that has gotten you, the groundswell of business, that you've kind of received. So it goes hand in hand. And so you guys are the biggest pieces of that puzzle. The chamber is just over here, trying to pump you up to the best of our ability.
So we're going to take a quick break so we can, clean our faces up from crying. No. We really appreciate that so much, though. I mean, yes, you guys have really been a true blessing for us. But let's, so people understand exactly what we're so excited. Let me go into the first question so we can get to know more about you and the chamber as well. Sure. But what inspired you to take on the role of president and CEO at the Chambers of Commerce of Southern New Jersey? And what has been the most rewarding part of your leadership journey so far?
Just love this organization. I love South Jersey. I am South Jersey through and through. And with my background being in politics and public policy, when a job opened up almost 2 decades ago now, when I was 26 years old, to serve as the chamber's lobbyist in Trenton, I jumped at the opportunity. And so that's how I got my foot in the door here. And, it'll be 20 years ago in another year or two, now that I've been in and out of the chamber. But it's just the perfect organization for someone who just loves South Jersey. I was born in Atlantic City, raised in Vineland, New Jersey, in Cumberland County, spent several years living in Voorhees and Camden County before getting married and moving to Burlington County. So I have 4 of the 7 South Jersey counties covered. And for a while, I also lived in Ocean City growing up as well. So really 5 of the 7 I've lived in. And so, a real South Jersey girl right here. This is just the perfect job, and that mixture of my desire to work in public policy specifically, not so much the politics, but the policy. This place is the perfect fit for something like that. And so that's what drew me here. I was fortunate to work under my mentor and still to this day, wonderful friend, Deb DiLorenzo, who was the president and CEO of this chamber for 25 years at a time where it was really rare to see a female business leader lead such an influential organization in the state of New Jersey. And so I've been just trying to fill her footsteps ever since, when she very smartly retired at the end of 2019 and gave me this beautiful chamber to cherish and hold. And then 3 months later, the world blew up, and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't even know what I'm doing yet, but we figured it out, and here we all are. So that's how I got here, and that's sort of what inspired me to come to the chamber in the first place and assume this role. But as it relates to the second part of your question, I really love the team that we've built here at the chamber, and I'm inspired by working with them. We are a 10-person all-female team at the chamber. And so when I look at what inspires me, my leadership, it's really working with this wonderful team that all has the commonality and the common interests of our members' well-being at heart. And so that's pretty great.
Well, the next question is, can you tell us about some of the key initiatives the Chamber of Commerce is currently focused on to support businesses in Southern New Jersey?
Well, God, there's so many. There's so many, and people say you can't be all things to all people, but we really try to be all things to all of our members, which is probably why we're so tired all the time. But, you know, every chamber member joins for a different reason. And so therefore, what our priorities are, what our initiatives are, it's a reflection of what the members want and need. And so since every member wants and needs something different, those needs and wants and themes of what we are advocating for or leaning into for whatever, really reflect what the members are telling us. They want to see us weigh in on, support, how to help them. So again, we're just a mirror image of what the members tell us. Right now, what the members are telling us is that we have a workforce issue here in South Jersey as it relates to maybe individuals not being as prepared as they should be going into the workforce, having a hard time hiring individuals from everything from entry level job to finding, C-suite executives that are good fits for organizations, small businesses, entrepreneurs who want to start their business having issues with access to capital continues to be an issue. And these are all things that are priorities to us because we really want to work with our businesses to try to find avenues to help. And some things are out of our control. As we know, there are socioeconomic issues internationally and nationally that we can't control here in South Jersey that are obviously going to trickle down. But the things we can advocate and prioritize, we're going to. So things like bringing together the education community and the workforce and the employer community. That's something we're always going to do. An emphasis on community in general. As a Chamber of Commerce, we care about businesses, but who are also businesses are nonprofits. So a focus on community organizations and marrying up our corporate partners with our community partners and making sure they're working together. Because if they're working together, then the South Jersey community is working better. All of these kinds of things are our global priorities, but day in and day out, it shifts based on what the members need.
Southern New Jersey has a diverse business landscape. What are some of the unique challenges that businesses in this region face, and how is the Chamber helping them navigate these challenges?
Every business has different challenges as well. Here in South Jersey, some of the more global issues that we have as a business community stem from, things like lack of mass transportation options. Getting employees from point A to point B is difficult for employers to do. If you don't have a car, that it makes it hard for folks to get around. So from a logistical standpoint, big picture, lack of transportation infrastructure really impacts folks' ability to get to jobs, and employers to hire qualified folks if they don't have transportation means for transportation. Here in South Jersey, we have, the benefit of being a little bit of a lower cost of living than North Jersey, which isn't saying it's low cost of living because New Jersey is not a low cost state to live in, as we know, but it's cheaper to live in South Jersey, generally speaking, than it is in North Jersey. But it still has challenges as it relates to just geographic diversity. So Gloucester County is very different than Salem County, but they're neighbors to each other. And their opportunities and challenges are extraordinarily different. And then you go down to Cape May, and Cape May's opportunities for business growth and job growth are very different than Burlington County's. And so it makes making cohesive policies that help businesses thrive a little bit harder, because although we are a regional organization, every area of South Jersey needs something a little bit different in order to succeed. That is also a challenge from a public policy standpoint, not just from enacting policy that helps businesses thrive, but also an education standpoint. As we know in South Jersey, we all have a chip on our shoulder that no one outside South Jersey cares about us. And so try telling a North Jersey legislator anything about South Jersey. It's very difficult to explain the diversity we see geographically and those business threats and business opportunities and how they vary. And that also goes for, the differences between small businesses and large businesses. And so, it's a unique landscape in South Jersey. You have to really know what's happening in all different parts to be able to help and assist businesses thrive here in South Jersey. But I think our number one probably pressing issue as it relates to helping our economic landscape grow is probably, transportation on a large scale.
Mm. Wow. Okay.
I mean, wow. I didn't even think about that because I have a car. But when I was like, wow, I wish we were close to the train, or my daughter can go right to Philadelphia, or like stay in South Jersey, like to go to Cherry Hill if she didn't have a car. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a difference.
That's just my wife trying not to buy another car. That's all. No, I'm just kidding.
Buy her another
Listen,
car, James. Buy her another
I
car.
know. But no, all seriousness, but the other thing that you talked about, on the political landscape is that I like how the chamber has a good footing with both sides of the aisles when it comes to certain things with political advancement for businesses to grow. You guys have a great handle in terms of knowing what's coming out and getting that information out and connecting us with opportunities to talk to these different political officials, which is a rarity that you see in other chambers.
Yeah. So the next question is, how does the Chamber of Commerce foster collaboration between businesses of different sizes, from small startups to large corporations within Southern New Jersey?
I mean, the number one answer to that is our events. As we discussed already, and as you alluded to, we are a very heavy event-driven chamber. We consider our events to be our number one product, quote unquote, our product, because we're We're not selling something, but we're selling connectivity and we're selling access and to individuals essentially. And so whether you are a sole proprietor, that just started your own PR firm, let's just say, that you want to get out, brand your business, and meet new people and pick up clients, we are going to help you by bringing you into the chamber. As soon as we bring you into the chamber, we're going to meet with you and onboard you, which means we're going to sit with you for an hour. We are going to understand who you are, what you do, what your mission is, your perfect ideal client, what industries you want to be in, what space you want to be in. And then we are going to help put you in rooms with those individuals.
And I like the way y'all do that because in advance, we get a list of who's going to be at certain events, and then we can reach out to our assigned ambassador. Am I saying it right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and tell them, hey, we're interested in meeting A, B, and C. And it's awesome because when we're there, they break the ice and put that introduction, and it makes it an easy transition of, networking and gaining a client, or if not anything, a friend. Either way, but I mean,
Exactly.
it's really convenient, and I think that's a sweet way of how y'all are putting people
And I
together to
like
grow.
even like the roadmap. I mean, I know,
Oh yeah,
yeah, the roadmap was good. I always tell everyone, I'm like, have you sat down, with one of the
ambassadors.
director of membership and just sit down and them helping you, with that path. I think that's a great opportunity.
We can't be successful at our job unless we get to know the people that just chose us. And I always say that,
Right.
you don't join a gym that you don't feel comfortable at. You don't join a book club that you don't, you're not going to join a chamber if you don't feel warmed and welcomed. And we want to build a relationship with you because too many times I think the old school model of a chamber of commerce was, you get out of a chamber what you put into a chamber. That's what
Right.
chamber leaders always said. And I mean, that's true in life, in all
Yeah.
things in life to
Hmm.
some extent. But that's also putting all of the burden on the member to figure out how to use the membership. And,
Right.
this is supposed to be a supplement to someone's job, not so it's my job. It's not your job. It's our job to use this. We're a tool in your toolbox and help you maximize it. And that kind of what
Right.
you get out is what you put in mentality puts all of the burden on the member to figure out how to use the chamber and leverage it, which I just think the wrong approach. And I think that more hands-on approach that we take and that kind of delicate care of building
Hmm.
relationships, getting to know the members, getting to know everything, there is to know about the business is what sets us apart.
The region is constantly evolving. So, how do you see Southern New Jersey's business community evolving over the next 5 to 10 years? And what role does the chamber play in that growth?
We play a huge role in that growth. I mean, I hope we continue to. I certainly
Yeah.
see us as someone who, as an organization that's going to continue to be we're the cheerleader for South Jersey. So we're going to be over here with our pom poms, and we're going to be, doing all the cheers and the chants, and telling everyone how great South Jersey is to come and bring your business here. But I think South Jersey is very well positioned to be a place where folks see as very attractive, but current industries like the gaming industry and the hospitality industry in the Atlantic City, and of course our tourism industry and our beaches and our boardwalks, they're crucial, and we just need to keep making sure that they are stable and remain.
As they always say, in order to understand where you're going in the future, you have to know where you come from the past, right?
Right.
And so we're going to add a link of the history about the chambers that we
Please.
had the honor to actually produce and shoot. So I think this is a great opportunity. If you really want to learn more about the chamber, definitely click that link and watch that history video. It's about 5 minutes or less or something like that, but it's very impactful, powerful information that'll give you a sense of pride to know, where it started from and what you're being a part of.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
thank you. You guys did great work on that for our 150th anniversary, which was 2 years ago. So we are now 152 years old. We look
Wow.
fabulous, if I
Yes.
may say so myself. But yes,
Yes.
created in 1873 as the Camden Board of Trade by Campbell's Soup Company is something we are really proud of, and it really makes our history
Yeah.
unique. So I encourage folks to check it out.
What impact has the Chamber's advocacy efforts had on local policies? And can you share a success story where the Chamber was able to influence positive change for businesses in the region?
Let me start with the more recent example. Another growing industry that South Jersey has really embraced has been the recreational cannabis industry. And it has been a boon for South Jersey. Municipalities that are allowing for recreational cannabis dispensaries or manufacturers, cultivators to be in their municipalities are seeing huge returns on investment with it. Our chamber membership has grown exponentially in the space as well. So I've pretty quickly become an expert on, well, I'm not an expert at all actually, but I'm trying my best to learn what I need to learn to keep up with the ever evolving regulations and laws around the cannabis industry, which really are changing every single day. In this past fall, uh, tax almost went through that would have tripled a certain product type that most dispensaries sell and would have been debilitating to any kind of dispensary that is trying to get themselves off the ground. The tax increase was extraordinarily high and would have deterred folks from buying from that dispensary or buying generally from the legal market, which is a whole story for another day. But I digress. We advocated strongly against that tax increase to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, who in turn along with the legislature, decided to hit the pause button on that tax increase going into effect at the end of last year, which some of our dispensary members had told us saved them in the last quarter of last year, had that tax increase gone into effect. So that's the kind of policy where we're tracking, we're monitoring, and due to our connections that are fully apolitical in Trenton, but being knowledgeable on the issues and being able to articulate our members' viewpoints and how devastating that would have been for those specific businesses, we were able to make some headway there just in the nick of time. So that's a good example of something that just happened. Bigger picture, we've been involved in ballot referendums, which is when you go in the voting booth and there's a question on the ballot you have
Yeah.
to vote yes or no on. And you may remember back about 10 years ago now, 9 years ago now, the No North Jersey Casinos campaign. There was a effort to build a casino in the Meadowlands up in North Jersey. And that was a ballot question. Do you want a casino in the Meadowlands or do you want the casinos remaining in Atlantic City? We were the grassroots organization that created the No North Jersey Casinos campaign. Very creative title, I'm aware. But it worked. And, that ballot question failed and we were able to get voted down. And we did that in conjunction with the Atlantic City casinos, some of which were fighting that initiative, but we were the grassroots effort. We were the ones passing out lawn signs that we created and with the Facebook pages and all of that to gain momentum and educate folks specifically in South Jersey why a North Jersey casino would be so devastating to not just our casino industries, but more importantly, the people that work in the casinos.
So the next question is, how does the chamber support businesses in terms of workforce development and ensuring that they have access to a skilled and reliable workforce?
So we are really proud to say that we have jumped in with 2 feet in the education and workforce development space over the course of the last 2 years. We re-upped our strategic plan in 2023, went live January 2024, and we created a new pillar, education and workforce development. We hired a dedicated staff person, a director of education and workforce development, and Nicole Pissera to lead those efforts and specifically be there to listen to our employers in our chamber, hear their workforce needs, and then bring that back to the education community, who can then better train the future workforce. In conjunction with that, it's working with the education community to make sure they're best preparing their students to enter the job market. That is something that we're very passionate about, that has been an area of growth for us at this chamber. And what has come out of that this year is a new collaboration with Rowan College of South Jersey called Empower You, which is essentially a soft skills 6-week certificate program.
In your opinion, what are the most important qualities that a business leader should possess in today's ever-changing business climate?
I think you need to have a strong sense of self and sense of mission, sense of drive. What drives you? What drives your organization? Um, Having that sense of who you are, what your organization does, and what it means to, in our case, the people in which we serve, is what drives us every single day. And in conjunction with that, always leading, I believe, with empathy.
Finally, what advice would you give to new entrepreneurs and small business owners looking to get involved with the chamber and make the most out of their membership?
It is crucial after you join the chamber, which is your first step, of course. It is crucial to be able to articulate succinctly what you do. What do you do? What service do you provide? And how can you do it successfully and efficiently? And say it confidently and succinctly. There are so many business people that cannot articulate what they do, which sounds crazy, but it's true. And so knowing what you do, having confidence in, I guess it's, in other words, that elevator pitch, it is so crucial, because if you're talking to someone and you end up, what's that phrase everyone uses now, a word salad, with all the words, and no one has been able to pull out of those words you just used what it is you do, what you're trying to sell, you're never going to get, no matter how hands-on the chamber is, we're never going to be able to help you get business. So I think that's the number one piece of advice I would give.
Yeah. And, and just to piggyback on that, I think what helped us was making sure that we had what we call in the business industry a capability statement. And understanding, your capability statement when you're doing either elevator pitches or whatever the case may be, that's going to help you when you talk with other people of all the key points of what it is that you do for your business.
And I think practicing what you do, answering the questions of who, what, where, and why, like who you are, what you do. And a lot of the stuff that when we work with other companies and create videos for them of the who we are video, it helps, for them to share online or even on their website about their business, and then maybe take a little bit from that, how to pitch, yeah. So just knowing.
And just to piggyback, because I know we offer a variety of things, so we could be that person saying, well, we do everything.
Right.
When it comes to marketing, not everything, because we don't do websites or graphics and that content. What I do is listen to the client and
Right.
find out what's their need. And if it's something that I can offer, I focus on that particular need and build from there. And then we can present those other things that you can possibly help them, but make sure that you're successful with the first one and build that proportion. And then you can expose all the other things that you can do. So,
And that is also why we provide attendance lists in advance of our events.
Oh,
Because if members are really using the membership strategically before they walk into that breakfast or before they walk into that lunch, before they walk into that happy hour, they already have a good sense of who is in that room that they want to meet. So their pitch should already be in the back of their head, because they're going to know this person is not going to want this service and this service that I do, but they would be interested in this service that I do. So I'm not going to talk about those other two things when I meet them at the bar to get a beer. I'm going to talk about this one thing that I do, not all the things. It's
Yeah.
Right.
preparation. And that's why the attendance lists go hand in hand with your preparation as well.
Well, we thank you so much for sharing so much vital information. We hope that our viewers will, take this information and get involved if they're not already involved with the chamber. But those who do want to get involved, can you give us some information how they can get in contact with the chambers and start their journey toward growing their business?
Absolutely. So you're going to want to start with our website, www.chambersnj.com. When you go on our website, there's so much information there. But if you're really serious about joining, you're going to click right at the top. It says there's a membership link, and it brings you right down to join now. You can click on that. The membership application is all online. It takes you no more than 3 or 4 minutes to complete. You hit submit. It allows us to provide you an invoice. We get that whole process started. Additionally, if you just want more information, also go back to our website, www.chambersnj.com. Under About, you can click on the link for the CCSNJ team. We are all listed there with our phone numbers and email addresses. If you just want more information, just email me or email our director of membership, Lynn Bradley. She's listed there as well. We provide our email addresses because we want people to have access to us at all times. So if you're watching this and you don't want to necessarily hit that join now button yet, you want more information, just go to our website. But also, I'll give it to you now. My email address is crenna, R-E-N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, A, at chambersnj.com. Shoot me an email.
If you want to see some growth, this is the spot. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Christina, for joining us today. We appreciate your time and your dedication to Southern New Jersey.
Thank you.
GA Youth, because of members like you, we continue to grow. So we love you just as much as you love us.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.